What's your name?
Luis Parra Tibagua.
So explain to me the difference between the cacao, the yahe, the marijuana, the mambe, because you said that it was one of the oldest plants.
The plants don't have difference between them. Not that's the first thing. That's an human idea. They have deals and they have how can I say? They have specific missions. Every plant, in the world, and specific information.
So they sort of talk to each other, manage each other, like meetings. The plants sort of have meetings in between themselves.
Yeah, for sure. They have meetings, they have a social organization between them. They have a kind of hierarchy, but no, it's not like the same hierarchy that the system have. It's in a spiral, And we study the plants and we try to take that knowledge and to apply that knowledge in our life. And yeah, for sure, in the nature exist plants that are more old than another plants, And in the community it's the same. The elder have like all the thinking of the community, and he sustained the community with his knowledge.
Can you tell me the personality of the cacao in comparison with the personality of the jahe or ayahuasca? For instance, the cacao, it likes to be a friend of everybody.
All the plants works to unify, all the plants. The yahe, the San Pedro, the coca, the tobacco, the cacao. It's more the use, Because every plant have a specific use. We use cacao for a specific things, we use ayahuasca for a specific things, we use another plant for a specific use, But in this case, the cacao, it's a medicine that when you use it, open the possibility that you can establish deals with groups, with yourself. The cacao have a history. And we can study the uses of the plants through the history of all the medicines,
The cacao, everyone can be with the cacao. It's easy, You can sit and you can talk and you can drink. When people listen to ayahuasca, they get scared. When they listen to marijuana, they get scared for the ceremonies. But cacao is so easy because you can all sit down in a circle and have a drink. It's not harmful.
More than easy is accepted. It's dangerous at the same time, Because right now we can see how around the world are starting to appear a lot of cacao ceremonies, and not only cacao ceremonies, yahe ceremonies, San Pedro ceremonies, And then specific with the cacao, with all the plants exist right now, something really hard that is not accord with the real use of the medicine, But it's dangerous because it's not just to take the cacao and say, okay, I'm gonna make an encounter and I'm gonna start to share and I'm gonna start to run ceremonies and I'm gonna start to talk to the people. No, first we need to be conscious what we wanna talk. We wanna talk the real history of the plant. We wanna permit that the plant talk, or it's the person that is talking, And if we don't know the history, we don't know the uses, we don't know how she works in the spiritual level, well, we can create a lot of disorder. And that's happening right now.
So because the ceremony is very easy to do and it's very accepted, people are going to do a lot of these ceremonies, but they're not going to do them correctly. Because they don't have the history and the
I can't say that incorrect. Maybe I can say unconscious, because it's really important to have like that, or to have the tradition, to have the use, to have the history, to have, the root,
connection.
The connection, like since when we are kids, because it's not just to run the ceremony, because have forms, have ways.
Could you explain to me a bit of the history then that you need to know to do the cacao ceremony?
For our tribes and for my tribe, We study in the history of the universe and in the history of the planet and in the history of the plants how to use it, yeah, and it's not something that you can learn in 2 weeks or in 1 month or actually in 1 year, yeah. It's a long way that actually never gonna end, gonna be all the life. And we need to study these histories and the pedagogy of the tradition and all the practice that we have, like the dances, like the, to go, like what's the meaning to go and sit and hear all the night the history that it's telling an elder, because through that history, through that pedagogical ways, we being educated and we learn about some things that are really important, how to be people, And that's the first thing, like we need to be conscious when we want to go and start to use the plant. It's not to be a shaman, it's not to be a spiritual master, it's not to start to go like crazy and do ceremonies. No, it's we drink to learn how to be people. And when you start to hear histories, in the histories, our elders and our traditions, and I keep too because I'm a guardian. We keep all the cure for all the sickness of the planet, but at the same we open the sickness, the origin of the sickness. And we need to understand that when we want to share medicine, we want to go and move, all the emotion of the people, all that sickness of the earth. But if you don't heal that first in yourself, how you gonna?
How dangerous is it? Or what is the damage that can happen if the leader of the ceremony, also known as a shaman, is not good in the heart and they have problems and they are doing the ceremony? What things can happen?
In the planet, in this world, can be really strong. No, it's something really delicate because when we are in a ceremony, when we are in an encounter, we open our channels and we start to create in another levels.
You call the ceremonies encounters.
Encounter, yeah. A family encounter. Yeah, a lot of things happen because if around the ceremony there's a lot of disorder or things that it's not correct, the medicine gonna go inside of you and she gonna do the thing that she do, like she gonna open and she gonna move the energy. Now, if that energy don't have another direction, don't have a structure, don't have like a, what's dangerous, when if that don't have a direction, that energy gonna go out and we're gonna start to create a lot of things in our mind and in our psychology in an unconscious way, and that gonna affect the nature, because we create with our mind, with our feelings, with our emotions.
So what you're saying is that if the person that is doing the ceremony is not good in the heart, it doesn't affect so much the group, it's affecting the world.
Yeah.
And could you explain how that happens? Because it sounds like as if what you're saying is when you're doing a ceremony, you're opening up a portal, and that the ceremony isn't only for the people there, the ceremony is actually for the nature and the world. Is that what you're saying?
We are gonna move. For that reason, I don't know, when we make a dance here, I know that we are trying to feed the plants, but right now, if the person that are in the center have a lot of anger in his life, but at the same time, maybe it's taking the medicine like in that unconscious way, maybe it's a pure heart, like so many people in Europe actually, that they see like appears just people that are suddenly start to make ceremonies, but I see like that person, he have a pure heart, but just he is unconscious about what he's doing and that they are creating things, and maybe that person have a pure heart, but in his life have a lot of disorder, now the things that disorder that he have, when he share, he shared that in an unconscious way, because we start to communicate in a ceremony, in another levels. The people that is inside of the ceremony, they communicate, and he passed that disorder.
You were saying that in a ceremony we go into different dimensions, more subtle dimensions where we communicate.
Yeah.
And if the leader of the ceremony has issues in his life that he hasn't resolved, then those can affect the other people in the ceremony at a much higher, invisible, energetical level.
Yeah, and that can affect the reality of this planet.
Through the people, but also what you're saying is that the ceremony is for the people and for the planet at the same time.
Yeah, for sure, because we are connected. And that's the problem, that honestly, sometimes I'm really worried about it, because I know that around the world that's happening a lot. And if around the ceremonies or the encounters, we don't have the conscious that what's happening, because it's not just to go drink and chill and good music, because that happen a lot, no? Like that way, not to, and let's share the medicine and all the people go and do whatever they want with the energy in movement and totally opened, and nobody that give a direction to the energy that that person are starting to move inside. And how we can give a direction to that experience through the histories, through the pedagogical ways that we have, because it's not just to go and drink medicine, it's drink medicine, but go work hard, plant the seed in the earth, it's go and drink the medicine, but try to be. Every plant have a mission in the evolution of the humanity and the planet at the same time. That's because every plant have a different history. Yeah, and every plant of this planet it's the same plant, but every plant is one chapter of the big book of knowledge. And for that reason, when we start to study, we need to study. Okay, we're gonna drink ayahuasca. What part of me I'm gonna study? What part of the universe I'm gonna study? What moment of the creation I'm gonna go and drink cacao? What moment for what? When you study that things, you start to understand how you can use it. And the problem is that there's a lot of people, involved in the medicine without the history, and for that reason, we believe that it's really important, and I don't say that nobody can't do it, because this knowledge is for all the people, but if somebody want to do it, at the same time need to have that conscious,
Are you saying that understanding the history of the plant connects you to the plant better?
Yeah, for sure. Because when you start to study the history of the plants and the history of this universe, because it's not only the spiritual plants.
So what you're saying is that connection comes through study as well. It doesn't just come through doing the plants. It doesn't come through just living and singing and dancing. It will also
that's one part, for sure.
But it also comes from, in the tribal tradition, it's going to be oral, but in the more Occidental Western tradition, it's going to be through books. So actually gnosis, knowledge, the studying of something is actually helping the path of, is actually helping the connection.
Yeah, for sure. To study, but how to study, no? Because to study is not just to go and start to drink a lot of medicine because you want to study, no.
It's the history.
It's the life, it's the day by day, to apply all the things, that it's inside of a plant, that she can teach us, in our life, and and for sure to be with somebody that can give you that guide, that can organize, the energy that you're gonna move when you drink the plant in a good way. That this kind of knowledge can be a real proposition to build humanity. I'm worried in one way and another way, and it's because right now we can see how the medicines are starting to be opened on the planet, but that at the same time there's not that conscious about what's around of the medicine, because it's not only the medicine, no? The medicine is only one thing, you know? There's around the medicine, there's a lot of things that we need to see that is happening around that plant, you know? For that reason, we need to respect, you know? Because we can't just go and take it, you know? If you are not conscious of all the things that are happening around the plant, you know, that the plant lives in a territory. In that territory live another plants, you know, and in that territory live communities, live people, huh? And that people have a history that can teach us how to be people. And right now we can see how actually some communities don't have the history too, you know, some people lose that memory too. There's a lot of tribes that they have the plant, we can see how is happening that actually there's not a good use, you know.
Is that one of the agendas? One of the agendas is to destroy the societies so that they can't understand how to access information from the plant and change or help change the world.
I think that it's only one history. It's the history of the humanity, you know. And right now I think like it's important to unify, you know, two worlds, the Western world and the knowledge of the earth.
Could you please explain to me the difference between chocolate and cacao and the different processes that you can make it? And is the chocolate that you buy in the shops just as good as the cacao or the chocolate that you give in the ceremonies?
All the things have a spirit, you know, and this system create like a spirit for all the natural things that we have. You know, you can see like the cacao, chocolate, the cocaine, you know, the ayahuasca, now the DMT that the people used to smoke, and tobacco, cigarette, you know. And again, the situation is like the history, you know, the cacao have a history.
So like, the chocolate you buy in the shop doesn't have the spirit in it. It's being desecrated and destroyed, like the cocaine from coca and the nicotine tobacco from cigarettes from the tobacco plant.
I don't say that they don't have the spirit of the cacao. Maybe they have the spirit of the cacao, but totally transform it, because, you know, like the technology come and...
Could it be a distortion of the spirit?
Yeah.
And could you tell me about the preparation of the cacao?
The preparation start more with the internal process. We make here in the house a process of, we transform the cacao, we take the crude seed, we roast. When we cook cacao, I always make the fire here. Like we always make the fire, because the fire is the doctor. But the interesting thing is like when we start to make that process of transform the cacao, we start to have an internal process, because every step of the process teach us something about how you can walk in your life. You know?
Can you give me an example of this?
Yeah, when you separate the cacao of the skin of the cacao, you start, because here we make that through the hands, no? It's a really artisanal process. Yeah, when you start to go on really deep on that, organize your life, no? Yeah, and you go on that meditation, you go on that, and you put your heart, because for me, I cook that and I'm not thinking like, okay, and the ceremony need to be big. No, it's like that intimate contact to say, I'm here to have that, to be humble with the plant and recognize I have this, I need to separate things in my life, because I need to organize my life, I need to organize my mind, I need to organize, you know, my heart, my emotions, my feelings, my family, yeah. And yeah, he started to move things not only inside of myself, in the people that are around of me, in the house, you know, always when we want to cook cacao here, you know, comes a movement, because he comes to organize. He's the deal.
So when you are doing the preparation of the cacao in your concrete brick Mallorca in the middle of the city, the spirit of Cacao, he comes and you can feel him and the energy moving around the house. Is the spirit a male or a female energy, or it's androgynous? For the Cacao, is it
have both? Yeah, you can feel when you start to see the person that is next to you and that it's your brother. You know, you start to feel when you want to continue working with more, you know, force. When you start to say sorry to yourself, to forgive yourself. If you have, I don't know, if you have a problem with your mother and you fight, you know, he come and you know that he's here because you are full and you can go and see that situation like nothing, you know, and you can recognize, you know, that you have life, you know, and that you are a person. And when you start to recognize like you need to respect the life and all the things that are happening next to you, in front of you, your actions, that you need to respect your actions, you need to respect your thinkings. For me, like the first thing like is just to be conscious with like the entity, no?